Have you ever found yourself wrapped up in a seemingly perfect moment with friends, only to have it shattered by a sudden call from your narcissistic partner, claiming a dire emergency that turns out to be nothing? Or picture this, you're at a lively party and your partner, seemingly unwell, insists on leaving, only to miraculously recover once you step outside. You may wonder if you are overthinking things, that it is all just a coincidence, that your partner could not possibly be that selfish and sometimes sadistic to manipulate you with fabricated emergencies. Unfortunately, fabricated emergencies are often hard to spot if you do not understand the reasons behind them and know what to look for, which are covered in this video. A fabricated emergency is when someone intentionally creates or claims there to be a crisis or urgent situation, such as claiming to be gravely ill, intentionally harming themselves, purposefully creating an accident, intentionally running out of gasoline, falsely claiming there is someone trying to break into the house, or falsely claiming a loved one or pet is missing, ill, or injured. It can also be infuriating things, such as they claim the washing machine does not want to start and they need to wash clothes. When you get home, the power is switched off at the wall and they claim they did not do it and it was on when you asked them to check it. Often, if you do not respond to small emergencies, such as the washing machine not activating, they will create a bigger emergency, such as cutting themselves, and then claim it was when they tried to see what was wrong with the washing machine, so it's your fault they got hurt. This tactic is emotional and psychological abuse and is a devious tactic to gain control over you and dominate you. Here are 6 common reasons narcissists use fabricated emergencies that you need to know about. Afterward, we will cover how to spot and respond to fabricated emergencies. A key reason narcissists fabricate emergencies is to isolate you from friends and family. Narcissists fear that people might tell you that their behavior is not normal, that you are not responsible for the narcissist's behaviors, and that you deserve a loving and supportive partner. Narcissists dread that people will help you hold them accountable for their actions. They need to make you have as little opportunity to talk to others as possible, so the truth of your abuse stays hidden. Narcissists know they treat others horribly, causing them to become jealous and even paranoid that you may meet someone who treats you with respect and decency, and that this person would steal you from the narcissist as if you are a TV set the narcissist bought and owns to do with as they please. If a narcissist goes out with you, they will often not allow you to be alone with people they do not approve of, sometimes not even allowing you to talk for yourself. If they cannot accompany you, they will come up with any excuse they can, even the most ludicrous fake emergency, to try to get you to come home to reduce the risk of you saying something that may expose the narcissist. This ties in strongly with the second reason, keeping tabs on you. Narcissists possess an intense desire to wield control and dominance over others. When they call you under the guise of an emergency, sometimes with trivial problems like a misplaced TV remote, it's a calculated move to meticulously analyze background sounds while you talk. They care nothing for getting an answer for their fake emergency. They aim to, from the background sounds, decipher your location, identify the people around you, as well as what you may be discussing. Many will demand you come home immediately or state that they are already outside to pick you up, then measure the time it takes you to get to them. Not meeting their time frame will be met with suspicion, accusations, and sometimes punishment. I once encountered a heartbreaking situation where a senior high school girl, desperate to conceal her friendships from her controlling father, flagged down a stranger, me, for a ride back to her school. This act of vulnerability was her desperate attempt to avoid the scrutiny and punishment that awaited her if her father discovered that she had friends and spent time with them instead of waiting for him alone for hours after school as normal. Her father, who randomly arrives early and times her arrival at the school gate, happened to do so on the one day she accepted an invitation to join friends after school at a nearby coffee shop. The emotional toll inflicted by such manipulation is profound and ties in with the third reason for creating fake emergencies, controlling you with fear. Fear, a potent and devious weapon of manipulation for narcissists, takes center stage in their devious manipulation tactics. Through fabricated emergencies, they instill terror, convincing you that leaving them alone for even a brief moment could result in reckless actions like wandering into the streets, self-harm, or them releasing your pets. Picture this. You're working late and are bombarded with calls every 5 minutes demanding to come home. After several calls, you receive a chilling image of an empty pill bottle with a shocking message. You made me do this. Adrenaline surges as you rush home, heart pounding with uncertainty. Bursting through the front door, you find them casually watching TV, a devious smile on their face as they toss the empty pill bottle to you. Then coldly state, "Next time you do not come home, when I say so, I will do it and it will be your fault." I did not handle the situation correctly, which I will get into a bit later. The use of fake emergencies intensifies when narcissists fear abandonment. They want you to believe that leaving them would lead to their inability to cope or self-harm, and that you will be responsible for their suffering for leaving them even though they abuse you. They know their behaviors are toxic, but instead of changing, they exploit your sympathy and make you choose their abusive actions out of guilt for any suffering they may endure if you leave them. Covert narcissists especially love to create a crisis and may even harm themselves whenever they do not get their way or you try to hold them accountable for their actions. They will then claim you upset them and caused them to become emotional and no longer in control of their actions. This is the reverse of walking on broken glass where you fear what the abuser may do to you next. Here, you fear that any word or action of yours may upset them and cause them to have some mental incident and harm themselves. It's like you're walking on cotton and holding your breath, too afraid to breathe too loudly and upsetting their fragile emotions. Getting back to my experience, my partner at the time claimed I was overreacting when I told her to pack her bags and then drove her to her parents' house, thereby ending our relationship. Maybe I was, and she just faked the emergency to get a bit of attention, which is the fourth reason narcissists create fake emergencies. Covert narcissists thrive on manufacturing emergencies to bask in the spotlight. It's their way of feeling special and powerful when you drop everything at their beck and call. Some narcissists take it to the extreme by timing your response, using any delay to accuse you of not loving them enough or you having an affair, while conveniently disregarding the absence of a real emergency. When confronted, they brush it off with a simple, "Well, you didn't know there was no emergency and you took your time, which proves you do not love me or are having an affair." And then they use that as an excuse for having another emotional episode or to punish you. Some can't tolerate being outshone in attention and will even fake a medical emergency at a wedding and have an ambulance called to ensure they're the center of focus. Many will hint or threaten self-harm and then abruptly switch off their phone. Then they act surprised when you show up at their house and deny wanting to hurt themselves. Or worse, have you arrested, which will be explained a bit later. A particularly sadistic move I fell for a few times involves the disappearing emergency. It's best explained by me sharing one of my experiences. Picture this. It's just after dark and you get a distress call about a missing family member who was supposed to visit another family member, despite leaving 4 hours ago on what is normally a 20-minute ride. They are nowhere to be found and all cell phone calls go unanswered. This prompts a frantic search along all possible roads with no results. 2 hours later, now 6 hours late, they casually appear, claiming they went to fetch pizza for everyone from a shop just 15 minutes away, while also claiming they never heard any of the dozens of calls and did not realize time went by so quickly. Their response to the frantic search? A casual smile while commenting, "Oh, that's so nice that you all care about me so much." While everyone is fuming, they could not be happier than a cat who got milk topped with cream and catnip. The fifth reason is a narcissist wants to validate to themselves that they still have power over you and that they are so important but you will prioritize the narcissist's needs over your own by abandoning whoever you are with or whatever you are doing to rush to them when they call you. They may on purpose make it so obvious there's no emergency just to get a bigger kick out of that they can control you with fake emergency claims and that you can do nothing about it, even if you know they tricked you. It makes them feel important that no matter how many times they trick you or how lame the excuse is, they are so important to you that you would rather there be no emergency than risk there really being an emergency and you did not respond. Here, it is not so much about getting attention for the supposed emergency. It's both a feeling of power over you, but also a way for them to suppress their fears. The fake emergency serves as a test that when you pass, it reassures them that no matter how badly they have treated you in the past, you will still rush to their aid whenever they need you. A few will use it solely to validate to them that you still love them and that you are not planning to leave them. They don't want to ask you outright if you still love them and be told no. So this is their way in doing it, which may sound stupid, which it is, but not as twisted as the next reason to get you arrested. Picture this. You left a narcissist or had them kicked out of a house. They call you begging to take them back and you refuse. Suddenly they claim they cannot live without you and are going to end things and it will be all your fault. Then they hang up. Shocked, you call back, but their phone is off. In a panic, you rush over to their place, possibly even forgetting about the protection order you have against them. At their place, you jump out and rush to the front door. No matter how much you call their name and bang on the front door, there's no answer. You try to see past drawn curtains if they are okay, but then sirens of several police cars fill the air. Shock fills you as police rush toward you, guns drawn, commanding you to surrender. Confusion fills your mind as you are arrested while the narcissist comes out, having called the police claiming that you had threatened to come and end their life. The narcissist shows the police a video with no sound of you frantically trying to get into the house, and you are taken down to the station. The narcissist has just set a trap for you and used your care for them against you in a fabricated emergency. In court, the narcissist may show several texts taken out of context where they baited you to reply in a threatening manner, as well as the video where they trapped you and claim that they fear for their life and you have in fact been abusing them. If you're lucky, they only get a protection order against you. If unlucky, they may be successful in claiming you are the abuser and get you convicted, or have no one believe that you were in fact abused by them. To prevent this from happening, it's essential you are able to spot and deal with fabricated emergencies, which are covered next. Narcissists are exceptionally good at hiding their manipulation tactics in plain sight with plausible deniability. To catch them out, you need to look for patterns of behavior instead of focusing on individual incidents. Start to secretly record each incident in a journal or notes app on your phone. Note what you were doing, where you were, with who, and what emergency the narcissist claimed. Install a recording app and record all phone conversations with a narcissist, not just for evidence, but for you to later go back and confirm to yourself that the narcissist did in fact say things to you they may later deny. Look for patterns such as each time you are out with friends, their medical condition becomes worse, or each time you want to visit your parents, they suddenly have an illness and need to be hospitalized. Or each time you're out with friends, they call with silly questions they claim cannot wait. Take nothing for granted that the narcissist tells you, but assume they are lying until proven true. This goes together with looking for inconsistencies in their stories. A big thing to look for is the emotional atmosphere surrounding these emergencies. Are they consistently used to evoke guilt, sympathy, or fear in you? Note the urgency conveyed in each emergency. Does the narcissist always claim an immediate crisis, even if it's just the remote being missing? And do they demand you come home or make you feel guilty for not rushing to their aid immediately? Take note of how the narcissist reacts when questioned or confronted about past emergencies. Do they provide consistent and detailed explanations, or do they deflect and avoid scrutiny? Cross-check details with other reliable sources. For instance, if they claim to have been admitted to a hospital, verify this information independently. See if a narcissist escalates the severity of emergencies over time. This could be a tactic to keep you emotionally invested and responsive to their calls for help. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it's essential to investigate further. Knowing an emergency is fabricated is only half the battle. You also need to know how to react to fabricated emergencies. The first step is to recognize that this person is using fabricated emergencies to manipulate you. This will allow you to divide the supposed emergency into different categories and then deal with it depending on the risk to anyone's safety. The first would be threats of self-harm when you are still in a relationship with a person or living with them. Whenever they threaten self-harm, record the statement and then promptly call an ambulance. If the threat was real, this ensures that they receive the necessary care. However, if it's a manipulative tactic for attention, they will hesitate to use it again once they realize the consequences. If they actually self-harm, call an ambulance immediately. People who self-harm need professional help. Record the incident to protect yourself from potential false accusations. Do note that it is their choice to self-harm. You carry no responsibility for their actions. Abusers often use their self-harm actions to guilt-trip victims to manipulate them, or as a last punishment if they end themselves by leaving a note blaming the actions on you. If you have separated from a person and do not live with them, and they make threats of self-harm or harming your pets or loved ones, never rush to their location. Your ability to help is limited, and it could potentially be a dangerous situation. Instead, call the police to report the threat, especially if there are threats against loved ones or pets. For non-life-threatening emergencies, ask specific clarifying questions to assess the legitimacy of the emergency. Also investigate their actions and if they took any initiative, such as if they call saying, "The dog is missing, come home now." You can ask, "When last did you see the dog? Did you search for the dog? Did you check if all the doors and gates are closed?" If they last saw the dog 2 minutes ago and did not even bother to check for the dog before calling you, then ask them to do so before you rush home. Look for inconsistencies in their behavior compared to what a reasonable person would do. If they refuse to do basic steps a normal person would do, such as first doing a quick search for the missing dog, but instead get angry and demand you come home, it may be a fabricated emergency. For smaller emergencies, like a malfunctioning stove preventing them from preparing dinner, offer an alternative solution, such as them using the microwave or preparing a quick sandwich. Also, point out their supposed emergency against the impact to you. For instance, they expect you to come home from your fishing trip with your friends because they cannot find the TV remote and cannot watch their favorite TV show. Additionally, point out the zero value you returning home would have. For instance, they demand you leave your friends at the coffee shop because they have a slight headache but refuse to take a headache tablet or go to the hospital. They just want you home, which would have no effect on their situation. Judge their reaction and see if they are reasonable, such as agreeing to lie down and call you if a headache gets worse, or if they get upset that you do not immediately return home. A reasonable person would not expect you to give up your time with friends because they have a slight headache. A narcissist would claim you do not love them if you don't rush home immediately. If a pattern of fake emergencies persists or intensifies, seek advice from a mental health professional. They can provide guidance tailored to your individual situation and the fabricated emergencies you are dealing with, and gauge the mental stability of your partner. The most important thing to realize is that the person who claims there is or fabricates an emergency to exploit your feelings for them to fulfill their needs or manipulate you does not care about you or your feelings. This is a sad but empowering realization because it will help you decide if a relationship is worth it. Learn more about narcissism by watching the video suggested to you right now.